mom created a sense of competition with me when it comes to my father. For you to believe that I can't turn to my dad in a time of need, but you can, it's delusional at best.
The Basketball Wives reunion was supposed to be explosive. Fans were waiting for drama, tears, and unfinished business to finally get aired out. The season had been intense, with broken friendships, loyalty being tested, and old issues being dragged back into the spotlight. VH1 even promoted the reunion as a must-see event. But just days before filming, everything came to a sudden stop. No warning, no backup plan. The reunion was cancelled, and what caused it wasn't just petty arguments or diva behavior. It was something much deeper, something the network didn't see coming, a family storm that reached its boiling point. Behind the scenes, VH1 had gone all out. They booked a private studio in Los Angeles, locked in glam teams and stylists, scheduled cameras, prepped the cast, and even beefed up security. They were fully prepared for the usual reality TV chaos. But what they weren't ready for was the emotional firebomb coming from Jackie Christie's daughter, Chantel. If you've followed the show over the years, you'll remember that Jackie's family life has always been a sensitive topic, especially when it comes to her daughters. Her relationship with her older daughter, Takari Lee, has been a mess publicly for years. Takari has accused Jackie of emotional neglect, favoritism, and worse. But throughout all of that, Chantel stayed quiet. She didn't pick sides, never trashed her mother publicly, and always seemed like the more put-together daughter who wanted peace. But that silence, as it turns out, wasn't because everything was fine. People close to Chantel say she's been holding in a lot for years, playing the role of the good daughter while hiding her own pain. And now, after years of protecting her mother's image, she's finally had enough. Sources say Chantel was planning to speak her truth at the reunion, and it wasn't going to be pretty. She wasn't just there to throw shade or cause drama. She was reportedly prepared to reveal real receipts, personal text messages, old voice recordings, and emotional stories that painted a much different picture than what fans have seen on TV. This wasn't about being messy, it was about releasing years of pain that she says was swept under the rug to protect her mother's reputation. And that's when everything started to fall apart. As soon as producers got wind of what Chantel might reveal, the tone behind the scenes changed. Quiet conversations turned into emergency meetings. Legal teams were called in. According to sources, a cease and desist letter may have been sent, warning the network to proceed with caution. And Jackie? Word is, she wasn't having it. It's said that she threatened to walk off the reunion set if Chantel appeared even virtually.
Good night. Be well. Good night. I will. That's a much better exit. You right. Good night.
Right. And you think you look better? Do you think you look better? Do you think that you fixed the situation? Because you're sitting here looking stupid.
I don't.
Look how you look as a mother, Jackie.
If you don't
look
get
how you look as a mother.
Get out of my room.
Don't touch me.
VH1 found themselves in the middle of something they never expected, not a reality TV meltdown, but a real-life family reckoning. The producers weren't just worried about a heated argument. They were terrified that what Chantel might say could lead to lawsuits, damage reputations, and completely shift how the public sees Jackie Christie. This wasn't just about one cast member anymore. It was about the network's own image and how they might be dragged into something much bigger. What's even more heartbreaking is how fans started to piece things together. After news broke about the reunion being scrapped, old clips of Jackie praising Chantel while ignoring or dismissing Takari started resurfacing. People began realizing that maybe the story we've been told wasn't the whole truth. The perfect family act was starting to show cracks, and Chantels Silence all those years now felt less like peacekeeping and more like survival. Chantel reportedly told friends, "I have nothing left to protect." And that line hit hard. It explained everything. This wasn't about revenge. It was about finally being seen and heard. And that terrified the network. Because a woman with nothing to lose is the one who tells the truth without holding back. The idea of her stepping onto that reunion set with her evidence, her voice, and years of pain, well, it was too much of a risk for Vihon. They didn't want to deal with lawsuits or PR nightmares. So, instead of facing what could have been the most raw and honest reunion the show has ever had, they pulled the plug. Some insiders say the producers even tried to cut Chantel out, completely editing her out of confessionals, removing her name from call sheets, and asking her to sign new contracts with tight restrictions. But she refused. She was done being controlled. She didn't want to play the background character anymore. She wanted her voice to be heard, unfiltered and uncensored. And the more they tried to silence her, the louder she got. At the heart of this entire mess is a daughter who's tired of hiding the truth for the sake of appearances. A woman who's carried the weight of her family's secrets while smiling for the cameras. A person who stayed quiet so long that the pain finally demanded to be let out. What started as a regular reunion spiraled into a full-blown crisis, not because of fake storylines, but because of real emotional wounds that reality TV couldn't cover up anymore. Now, fans are left with questions. Will Chantel eventually speak out on her own terms? Will Jackie respond? Will VH1 ever dare to address the truth, or will they keep pretending nothing happened? One thing is for sure, this wasn't just another cancelled reunion. It was the moment the truth came knocking and the network slammed the door shut. But that door won't stay closed forever. Because when a woman finally decides she's done pretending, there's no script, no producer, and no contract that can stop her from telling her story. Everything changed when Chantel finally reached her limit. If she had gone public during reunion week, especially with the kind of evidence people say she had, it could have been a total disaster, not just for Jackie, but for VH1 and everyone behind the scenes. This wasn't just a daughter airing out a personal argument. This was someone who had been quiet for years, carrying pain, secrets, and experiences that were never shown on TV, and now she was ready to speak. People close to the situation said Chantel wasn't just upset, she was coming with real receipts. Emails, recordings, documents, even therapy notes. She had been watching the show for years, staying silent as her family's story got twisted for entertainment. And she had finally decided to say something. Not just about her mom, but about the entire system that kept her quiet. According to reports, Chantel had been forced into silence more than once. She was told to play along when the show filmed healing moments. She was encouraged to smile and hug, even when the pain hadn't gone away. If she refused, there were threats, no more appearances, no money, and contracts that could be pulled at any moment. She was stuck. She had to choose between protecting her peace or keeping up the show's fake image. And for a long time, she chose silence. But something changed this season. Sources say that Chantel had enough. She wasn't willing to sit back while her family was being used to push a storyline that wasn't even real. And she was done protecting people who, in her eyes, never protected her. That's why the reunion became such a big deal. Producers were nervous, some even scared. Because if Chantel really did have the proof she claimed, it wouldn't just ruin Jackie's image as a mother trying to make things right, it could expose the network for manipulating personal trauma for views. Imagine this: the cameras are rolling, the cast is ready, the reunion is about to start, and then Chantel goes live, with no script, no filters, and no one controlling what she says. That was the risk VH1 didn't want to take. Jackie, of course, wasn't okay with it either. She reportedly told producers she wouldn't be on stage if Chantel was anywhere near the reunion, not in person, not on screen, not even in a pre-recorded clip. She made it clear she wasn't going to face her daughter if she didn't know exactly what was coming. And once legal threats started getting thrown around, the network pulled the plug. There was no big announcement. No trailer saying the reunion was postponed. No cast members hinting at the drama. Just silence. Quiet emails were sent out behind the scenes, letting everyone know it was over. Flights were cancelled. Glam teams were sent home. Security that had been hired just in case things got too heated was no longer needed. The reunion was officially dead. Cast members were furious. They had spent money, time, and energy getting ready. Some had personal stories they wanted to share. Others had beef they needed to clear up. But no one wanted to be in the middle if Chantel showed up and exposed everything. No one wanted to get caught in the crossfire between Jackie and her daughter. VH1 had to act fast. They went into full damage control. Some say they even threatened legal action if anyone leaked details. They shut down any press interviews. Blogs that tried to report on what happened got no response. The network hoped the silence would make the situation disappear. But it didn't. In fact, it only made fans more curious. The silence spoke louder than anything. Now, the questions are piling up. What really happened between Jackie and Chantel? Why was the reunion cancelled without warning? And most importantly, was Chantel telling the truth the whole time? Some fans are starting to wonder if Chantel was the voice we all needed from the beginning. Maybe her silence was never weakness. Maybe it was strength. The kind of strength that comes from trying to keep the peace, even when no one else is trying to protect you. But now that she's finally ready to talk, the network doesn't want to listen. That's the part that hurts the most for a lot of people. Because if her story had been fake, they would have let her speak. But the fact that they shut her down so quickly? That's what makes people believe her even more. And what about Jackie? Can she come back from this? Can fans trust her again, knowing what's now being said by her own daughter? Some say yes, others aren't so sure. It's hard to rebuild your image when your own family is calling you out. Especially when the truth has been buried for so long. As for VH1, they've got their own problems. They built a show around real-life drama, and now that the truth is too raw to control, they've decided to walk away. But the damage is done. Fans feel betrayed. Some are even calling for the network to release the reunion footage anyway. They want the truth, no matter how messy it is. So what happens now? Chantel still hasn't spoken publicly. Not on Instagram, not in interviews, not even in a short post. But insiders say she's not done. She's just getting started. And when she does talk, whether it's in a blog, a video, or even a tell-all interview, it's going to be something the network can't shut down. This time, her voice will be her own. No script. No edits. No contracts. The reunion may be cancelled, but the conversation is far from over. So now we ask you, what do you believe? Was Chantel brave for speaking up? Was the network wrong for silencing her? And do you think Jackie and Chantel's relationship can ever be repaired after this? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Because one thing is clear, this was never just about reality TV. This was about real pain, real people, and a truth that couldn't stay hidden any longer.